What is up, people? We are back with another web-exclusive video here on the MacGuffin podcast. I'm Alan.
And I'm Ed.
And today we're going to do something a little special today. We are going to be talking about this man, Mr. Charlie Chaplin. Our friends over at SIFF is going to have a week-long Charlie Chaplin festival starting on the 15th. They're going to be showing all of his films. Well, not all of his films, but a lot of his films. And we decided to talk a little bit about it, talk about why we love Chaplin and everything, and hopefully get the word out there so people will go and watch. So, Charlie Chaplin, probably... There was a time where Charlie Chaplin was the most famous man on earth. I think the only person that rivaled him was like the Pope or something like that.
Totally.
But everyone knew him all over the world. So let's talk about him. Why do we love Charlie Chaplin so much? You get those debates in silent film era about there's Keaton people and there's Chaplin people. It's kind of like a Beatles versus Elvis debate. I got a lot of love for both, but Chaplin in particular is because he had so much heart. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
All of his movies, there's genuine emotion behind it.
Yeah, I mean, his films were hilariously funny, emotional at the same time, and also really aware of how things were in society and everything like that. So let's talk about some of his films. The first one they have up is City Lights. I think it's the big one, the one you see right here. Personally, I mean, I haven't seen all of his films, but from the ones that I've seen, City Lights is by far my favorite. It's just absolutely perfect all the way through. I mean, it's funny, it's great. I mean, the story's amazing. Yeah, it's touching. I mean, this moment right here. I mean, I don't know if we can go too far into it. But
if you haven't seen it, we don't want to spoil it. But I will say this was the first silent film that ever actually brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah, it's an amazing movie, and I mean, what a way to kick off the week. I mean, with City Lights.
This is also the one with the famous boxing sequence, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is a hilarious bit where he's hiding behind a larger boxer. Ducks out behind him.
Ducking, they're like dancing along and everything like that. Just
beautifully choreographed.
Timing and everything is just incredible, yeah. Just to think that, he did this back in I forgot what year it came out.
This would have been the 20s?
Yeah, I mean... It's just amazing how he's able to get those moments so perfect the way it was.
Yeah, his timing was impeccable.
Yeah. So City Lights, and then moving along, I think on the 16th they'll be showing The Gold Rush, The Kid, and The Great Dictator.
The Gold Rush is if you have a clip show in your head of what you remember about Chaplin, The Gold Rush is the clip that you've got in your head. It's the one with the little dancing rolls.
Yeah.
It's a fantasy sequence where he's dreaming about food. The Gold Rush the plot is about basically it's set during the Gold Rush in the 1800s. He and another prospector are stuck in the mountains for weeks on end with no food, and eventually he also does a famous sequence where he's eating his shoe.
Oh yeah.
Which they made out of black licorice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've read how that was done, and it's so funny because that's the one where he even pulls the nails in his shoe clean.
Yeah, there's other moments that I remember from the film, just from the beginning when he's walking along the mountain, and isn't there a bear or something that he has to try to get around and everything like that?
Yeah, there's a bear that confronts them, and the other prospector that's with him.
Yeah. And then of course there's the other famous moment that I remember of the house tilting on the cliff and everything like that.
What's hilarious about this, and this is actually a point I like to make about him, which is. We always think of him as kind of innocent and naive, but that sequence is based on the fact that he's got a hangover.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He got drunk the night before and doesn't realize that the house is tilting because he's hungover.
Messed up. Yeah,
it's great.
Excellent. Just so brilliant. And then the kid. Now that wasn't a feature length.
No, it was a short.
It's
the one with Jackie Coogan.
Yeah, and I mean that was one of the most emotionally heart-wrenching. I mean, I think everyone remembers that part where Chaplin is being restrained by those two guys, and he's looking directly at the camera as the kid is being taken away. It's I mean, it's an incredible short. So.
Yeah, terrific. And that's the other probably. The three big ones are City Lights, Gold Rush, and The Kid. Those are the ones where if you've got Chaplin stuck in your head with this, That's where he defined his little tramp character.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the mustache, his other film that's being shown on the 16th is The Great Dictator. Now, I mean, obviously, The Great Dictator has its parallels to Hitler. Right?
Yeah, it's actually now this was one of his later movies. It was a talkie, and it came out World War II was still going on. So this was actually a really controversial movie for him. The studio, a lot of people were actually really pissed off.
Okay.
But he based it on the fact that he and Adolf Hitler actually had the same birth date.
Oh.
They were their birthday the same date. I can't remember if it was the same year, but same date. And so the story is actually about the little tramp character and this dictator of a mythical country it's obviously Germany, and their parallel lives. And this is if you see a clip from this one, the famous scene is the Hitler character playing with an inflatable version of the Earth, where he's literally literally got the world in his hands.
Now, was it the tramp that he played? Or
he never called it the tramp in this one, but it is
a tramp-like character.
And he worked at a barber shop. He had this mustache. At one point, he does have the hat. I can't remember if he has the cane in it or not. And they get switched. It's a kind of Prince and the Pauper. Plot.
Okay. Well, now the one thing about that film is the speech that Chaplin gives. I think this is the first time we've ever heard Chaplin talk. Is that correct?
He spoke. It's the first time we heard him speak in English. It came up earlier in Modern Times, which we'll get to.
Right.
But yeah, this is the first English speech on screen.
Okay. Now, what do you think about that speech? I know it caused like a lot of controversy. I mean, this isn't Chaplin playing a character. This is Chaplin literally just speaking,
sending a message to the world, saying that he didn't want America sitting on the sidelines anymore in World War II. This was kind of his call to arms. In a way, it's a propaganda movie, much like The Mortal Storm or several other World War II movies are out around that time.
Okay.
It's still a terrific movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the other film that we just mentioned was Modern Times. Now, this is the one that I mentioned about Chaplin being very aware of society and how they are. Now, of course, this is the one that has the famous moment of Chaplin going through the gears of the machine and everything like that, clearly showing how his feelings are about dehumanization and everything.
I honestly, if you wanted to ask me, this to me is his masterpiece. In what's interesting about this movie is this bridged the gap between his silent era and his talkies.
Okay.
This was in the 30s. They were already talking pictures, but he didn't think talking pictures were artistically true.
Oh, okay.
So this was him defiantly trying to hang on to his little tramp character for one last time.
Right.
And the studio said, no, you need sound. So he decided, he recorded his own music. And there's this is where I talk about his voice coming up. There's a scene in it where he talks gibberish.
Oh, this is the scene where he's at the party, right?
Exactly.
He's miming the story. Okay.
Yes, and so that was his nod to the studio, which is, okay, you want me to talk, I'll talk. But he didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
So he felt that his silent movies were really what he was about.
And it also goes to show how good of a mimer or a showman he was, because even though he's talking gibberish, you could totally tell the story that he's portraying about the girl and the watch and everything like that. It's definitely something to check out for in that film. I mean,
Criterion's got a great Blu-ray of it too.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, it just came out. I just got it not too long ago. It's fantastic.
Oh, excellent, great. Okay, so now moving on to the other films that they're going to be showing now. Again, I'm not the biggest Chaplin, expert, but moving on, Limelight.
Limelight is one of his last movies, not the last, but I kind of intended it to be. This is the only time he ever shared the screen with Buster Keaton.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah.
And this is I actually just finally watched this not too long ago. It's long. It's very European.
Okay.
It's got sad clowns and crazy ballerinas.
Awesome.
So it's not his best movie, but it is interesting.
Okay.
He's definitely trying to hang on to some of his former glory. This came out in '52. but by this time he had already been exiled to Europe.
Yeah, that's a whole another segment we can talk about,
Right.
being Chaplin, being exiled from the States. But just staying with the film's
Sure.
limelight. So that's a definite watch. You would
Yeah,
say?
it's like I said, he and Keaton, that's film history right there.
Oh yeah. I mean, people always compare the two, and doesn't Chaplin pretty much step back and let Keaton take the
They do
spotlight
it.
most
What
of
it
the
is
time?
the final sequence is a comedy bit the two of them do silently together, involving a piano and some dancing, and they're working very much in tandem.
Okay, great, excellent. So the other ones, I'm not sure which ones. you've seen
Okay,
as well.
King in New York is, I would say, actually one of his worst movies.
Oh, really?
For film history, it's worthwhile because again, it's about him being exiled. It's a lot about the communist scare.
Oh, okay.
He plays a deposed dictator of another mythical foreign country who has to find exile in New York to raise money for a nuclear program that he has.
All right.
And so he does TV commercials to raise money and ends up getting brought before what essentially is HUAC.
Really?
And getting deposed in front of Congress.
Oh, wow.
I swear but it's not great, but it's worth it if you're a Chaplin nerd.
Okay. And then the other ones. that
Monsieur,
you've
okay,
seen?
this is the one. I haven't seen A Woman in Paris. I know. I don't even think he's in it. I think he just directed it.
Okay.
It's so I don't know too much about it. Monsieur Verdoux, I would say, was probably his last great film.
Last great film.
Yeah, and it is a talkie. He plays a serial killer.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it is awesome. They call him a Bluebeard.
A Bluebeard.
Yes, because he marries rich widows, takes them for all their money, and then kills them.
Yes.
Awesome.
That's great, Chaplin.
Yeah, it's dark. It's also he was kind of indicting materialist society and again this whole conflict he had with America and the communist scare at the time, but it is truly unique. Chaplin as a serial killer.
I know, right? That face right there as
Yeah.
a serial killer. So yeah, I mean, I guess that does it for all the ones that we've seen that they're going to be showing this week. Again, Chaplin, SIFF Cinema, please go and check it out. Lots of great films, obviously, and we'll obviously be there. At the MacGuffin, we're going to be doing some pieces on, some of the films. I don't know if we'll be able to get all of them, but we'll definitely write about all the ones that we try to anyway. So yeah, visit us here at MacGuffinPodcast.com, and we'll catch you guys later.